Once again, thank you guys for playing along. I appreciate you being here. And until next time, this is Silent Mode, maker, artist, and LEGO enthusiast. Once again, encouraging you all to do your thing. I'm just joking. How's it going, everybody? What's good, folks? This is Silent Mode, maker, artist, and LEGO enthusiast. And yes, excuse me. I was really eager to do this, but we're continuing with the build of the third party. Just thought I'd play with you guys, not in the way that you may be thinking, but it's time to continue this build of the alternative brand LEGO vending machine, which isn't LEGO, it's from AliExpress. Been looking forward to this all day, but thank you guys for joining me anyway. Hope you guys are doing all right, and as usual, better than me. Hopefully you're doing better than me. Let's see, I still got to contend with these rather small instructions here, but let's continue building. It's been an okay day today rather. Being my usual busy self, trying to get things done before Christmas. But here we are. What do you mean, why is it so dark? It's night time. You see, over here in the UK, it is night time. And yes, my camera is blurry. It tends to do that from time to time. There's not much I can do about it, except maybe bring the camera a little bit closer so you can see all the bits I am building with. And there we go, that's a little bit better. Excuse me, maybe I should set it to manual focus. Yes, Never Too Old has a new camera setup. Or, sorry. Excuse me. Never Too Old has a new setup. He's got all kinds of fancy things going on. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how different it looks compared to how you had things before. There we go. Let's try manual focus tonight. Right, so sit back and relax and try to enjoy me trying to piece this thing together. Owen is looking forward to his new suit. All custom all the time. I'm actually kind of curious to see how it's going to turn out. This is a casual wear suit, if I remember correctly. Anyway, let me know what's good in the hood, what's new in your part of the world. We've got a good week left before Christmas. For anybody looking forward to that kind of thing. Okay, I got that completely wrong. That's okay. So we need 2 of these. Oh yes, I should say hello to everybody in the chat. How's it going? Hoarder. That's a government joke. How's it going, Hoarder? We got Never Too Old. We got Alexandria. We have Owen Mountford. Not Cosmic Bricks this time. We got Owen. And I think we've seen Philin Bricks as well. How you doing, Philin Bricks? Excuse me. Yes, I remember. That's quite an old figure actually, Brick Daddy. I don't remember if I have that one, but I do remember trying to get hold of a Space Limo, which is the set that he came in. Now, of course, they couldn't actually say that he was a pimp, but he was obviously styled after one. But yeah, I seem to remember trying to get hold of that set. So it was either the minifigure or the vehicle that I had. And if I remember correctly, actually, that limo was in the old style purple. It might work in the newer style purple, but the older style purple is going to be quite hard to get hold of. Yeah, if you do get hold of this third-party set, I would certainly recommend getting hold of official instructions, either PDF or maybe even a printed version, because I mean, I can read the instructions here, but I don't know if they're the same as Lego's version, or if somebody just decided to improvise. Right, so I thought tonight I would go through bags 4 through 7. That should give me enough content for tonight, and that would leave 3 bags and the individual gifts for the next session. Okay. Well, I would actually suggest, now that I've been exposed to these third-party sets, if there are some parts that you are particularly stuck with trying to get hold of, it may be worth looking at AliExpress and the like, because there are some sellers that have rather convincing looking alternative parts if you know what you're looking for. I've actually had to make use of some because trying to get hold of actual LEGO versions was cost prohibitive. And I won't tell anybody. Alright, so while I'm doing this, yeah, indeed, you tell him, hoarder. But while I'm doing this, speaking of hustling, I managed to score a couple of IKEA lack tables, if you guys know what they are. So I got them second hand from or somebody who was giving them away, basically. Although they weren't quite giving them away, I had to give them some money for them. And if I were to buy them brand new, it would cost me about £20 for both of them. I got 2 of the small tables for £5, which I think was a pretty good price. Just the right price, I'd say. And they weren't that difficult to transport either. So I got them because I needed something to put my 3D printers on and try to free up some space and make this place look a little bit more elegant. A table that has, okay, that's pretty cool. So you mean, if I understand you correctly, Never Too Old, you're going to make a table that has a a surface that contains bricks inside of it. That would be pretty cool. I'd imagine that would take a lot of work though, but that would be really cool if you can pull it off. I am still looking to, well, it's a matter of priority, I think, to get myself this desk. But before that, having to get rid of a sofa. I really want to have a good working space if I'm going to be serious about creating stuff. So I think he means a regular table, but with a surface that has bricks embedded in it. That would be a really cool creative project, I'd say. May have to get myself a new laptop charger as well. Yeah, one of the problems I'm seeing here is that a lot of these steps involve quite a few parts, and it's quite easy to get sidetracked or lose track of things. So I've got to be quite careful. Yeah, Owen's got a pretty cool looking desk. He's got a carbon fiber surface, and he's got the standard issue content creator LED lights and everything. Do you have one of those gaming chairs as well, Owen? Gotta have one of those gaming chairs if you're going to be a content creator. It's the law. Yeah, definitely need a more sturdy, less slippery surface. Otherwise, especially if I do some messy stuff, if I, for whatever reason, get into using resin again, I'm going to have some problems. There we go. So this is an actual what do you call it? This is an actual DIY job you're talking about. Never too old. Come on now, Owen. Nobody needs a table made of gold. Excuse me. Dear me. What is going on with my throat? It's getting deep. Hopefully not too deep, filling bricks. That is definitely not my intention. Right, that was bag 4 already, or sets of bags number 4. We're moving on to 5. And again, after each step, we're supposed to assemble these balls. One thing I noticed last night actually is that not all these ball halves are equal. This one's got a somewhat flat top. You can just about see there. Okay, this one's flat as well. This one is more round. So if you can see the difference there. So there's some inconsistency. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I don't think it is, but that's one thing to watch out for. And it is the same thing, I believe, with some of these other halves. I think it's a flaw, to be absolutely honest, but we'll have a closer look once we get to that stage. Now let's move on to bag 5. Or bags 5. Well, once you get to making that table, I'll be very, very interested to see the process, to see how you do it. I don't think I'll ever get to do that because I would certainly require some kind of workshop to make something like that. But I think most of us would agree it would be really interesting to see somebody actually make a table, especially one that's purpose built for Lego. Okay, I'm not sure if this is a new piece or not. I've not seen this one before, at least not one that's this long. Gosh. Yeah, I generally don't have I've never actually come across many situations where something's not as long as I expected. There's a first for everything though. Trying to find a particular piece and it is escaping me. Where could it be? Having to take a closer look, it might actually be somewhere else. So let me have a look in this container here, which has a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, you can see, for example, this ball half sits very comfortably on the table like that. This is an example of a round one that rocks around quite a bit. So for some reason they went with blue and yellow for the official sets. There we go, that's the piece I was looking for. Oops. I have no idea what I'm building at the moment. I will certainly look out for your live stream later, Never Too Old. Sorry. Yes, I remember you got a couple of 3-in-1 sets, so it'll be very interesting seeing how you get on with them. My goodness, these parts, these instructions are small. So yeah, I got the LAC tables, the small coffee tables for my 3D printers. I got an AliExpress order today for some, I got some USB cables and some markers. I'm expecting one more, which is going to be delivered to a locker, or at least I've had it sent to a locker. And apart from that, I just have to be concerned about sending some mail before Christmas. Just a few sold items, and I sold one of my 3D printers. That is, well, I sold it, but I've yet to post it. And that's going to be a pain in the neck. sure you can send me a Christmas card. Hey Kathy, I didn't see you there. How are you doing? That would be a rather nice gesture to receive a Christmas card. I suppose if anybody else is interested, we could probably send each other e-cards. I think it's it's just something nice to do. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well at the moment. It's busy as usual, just trying to get stuff done, but I am doing pretty good. I think in the grand scheme of things, I'm actually doing pretty well. A far cry from where I was just a couple of months ago, right? And I'm reminded that I have one Christmas set to build. I may save that for next week. As a matter of fact, I think that would be better saved for next week, since I don't have a Christmas video scheduled. Gosh. Oh yes, how is your stepdad? Never too old. Oops. Oh. Oh dear. Excuse me. Well, I have a friend who goes to my my meetup events. I happen to run a meetup group, and she's quite old and she's had a few health issues, and quite a few people, including myself, are really concerned because we haven't heard from them in a while. We tried calling and there hasn't been an answer, and nobody seems to know what's happened. Well, I only say that because this person, I guess, would rather have been at home than in hospital. They didn't like their stay in hospital, and I was just wondering whether it was better for somebody to be in hospital or at home if they're not in the greatest health. Naturally, I think it's subjective though. Yeah, this bit has a lot of fiddly bits. Yeah, I can definitely see how this is a 3-part build in terms of a live stream. How do you unfreeze a phone that doesn't have a power button? Surely it should have a power button. But I think the only the only way I can think of is to take the battery out. Otherwise, well, usually there is a power button. I don't know. I don't know about iPhones, but usually there's a power button, and if nothing else works, you just hold the power button down for a few seconds, and it will turn off or restart. Okay, this one's in wrong. Oh, so there is a power button, but it's broken. I thought you had a new phone. Did they sell you a phone with a broken power button? Okay, how does this go? What on earth? Okay, I used the... Yes, I remember those days. It wasn't so much hitting the TV, it was trying to position the aerial in the exact position to get a clear picture. I used the wrong axle here, so I'm trying to take this out. Try using the brick separator. Then we're going to have to backtrack. There we go. All right, let's see if I can put this back together. Hello, Brick Together. Thank you for stopping by. I know you're going to be streaming with Never Too Old, but I appreciate you showing your support. So I'm just trying to figure out how this goes, because it's I messed up basically. I am excited. I actually am excited. I'm a little bit nervous, but I am very much looking forward to seeing how things transpire. I think it's going to be a pretty good one as long as everybody behaves. Oh yeah, by the way, for those who are concerned, I might be able to do one of the earlier slots on New Year's Eve. So I'm just figuring that we start at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, going all the way up until midnight Eastern Standard Time on New Year's Day. I should be able to do, if necessary, one of the earlier or one of the first slots, so from 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, if nobody else has taken those slots. That is, if there is interest. Okay, so Brick Together is doing they're doing quite a few streams. Okay, I'm gonna have to start this again because I've messed up this piece. Okay, so Foggy Moggy's got the first slots, which I think is appropriate because he's well, that's when he starts streaming, and also he is somewhere in the east, I believe. Right, so if there's anything early available, I'm open to taking one of those slots. Of course, I'm also content to do more than one slot if necessary. Nothing like some New Year's Eve torture. Yeah, apologies, I have messed up. So I'm going to have to go back and retrace my steps. It's going to take a little bit longer than I expected. Okay. Right, so I got to here. Is that what? Okay. All right, no problem. But yes, I haven't looked at the spreadsheet. I haven't touched a thing. I haven't seen a thing. So I don't know what's what. Okay, getting back on track. Oh well, there's plenty of time for anybody else to join in. I think it's still early days yet, although I know the deadline is fast approaching. I think people will generally be more proactive nearer the dates, because I think most people are more concerned about Christmas, whether it's to do with content creation or something else entirely. There we go. And so I'm pretty sure, I'm going to guess that after Christmas you're going to get a lot more response from people, which I don't think is right, to be absolutely honest, but that's how things go. Alright, so I think I made it back to where I was. So you got this, and that slides in here. Okay, I didn't need to know that, Owen. let's keep things. I was almost going to say Lego, but let's keep things construction toys here. I think it would be great to see how Lego's instructions compare, because I can see these being rather difficult to follow. How's it going, Lego Buildo? Excellent work on the alternative builds, by the way. And hopefully you'll get to your 1K subscribers, I'd imagine before the end of the year, actually, depending on how far you have to go. But yes, AliExpress bricks. We're not just building Lego anymore, or rather we're not restricted to the red squares anymore. We're liberated. So verdict at the moment is, it's, you know, I can tell that this isn't actual Lego, but the quality is certainly there. I am not sure about the instructions, however. Only 28 more. That's awesome. I'm predicting by the end of this week you'll have your 1,000. But that's excellent news. How much did this cost? Well, you know, the official Lego sets retails for £150, and I got this for around 30, believe it or not. So it's between 30 and 40 on AliExpress. You can find a link in the description if you want to at least take a look at the one that I bought. There's a few different copies on the site, but I went with this one, and it's very much bare bones. doesn't even show you where to put it in, but I'm gonna guess it's in here. Or at least it doesn't show very clearly where to put it in. All right, and then this one goes here, I think. You don't want to get this wrong. It looks as if it's the same design. I haven't built the official one. You can call it the real one. I haven't built that one yet, nor have I seen anybody build the actual version in full. But I'd say at the moment it looks rather convincing. So this is the mechanism for rotating something, I can see. I mean, the parts certainly look identical to the actual one. Yeah. Well, you know, my opinion, and I've only got observation to back this up, is that there's a lot of stealing that goes on within the hobby, and it's subjectively okay from what I've seen. Oh. I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of stealing, although I have said in the past that in a joking way, of course, I have said, you know, if I see an idea that I like, I'm going to steal it from somebody. Most of the time, I don't actually. I've just dropped a piece that I can't find. Oh, there it is. But I found out the hard way, not just with myself, but with some other people as well, that it's considered okay to steal sometimes, and it's considered not okay to steal other times. But either way, people spend money. But with that said, though, yes, there are a few places that do steal designs from LEGO, and I'm pretty sure other places as well. But it wouldn't mean anything unless they had good enough quality parts as well. Now, it's impossible to take this pin out. I may have to get some pliers or something. Give me a second. Yeah, this piece is stuck. This piece is very much stuck. Oh boy. Hope I can get it out. I may have to destroy this piece. But yeah, I was talking about good enough quality parts. This is one area where the set will suffer, because I should be able to take this piece out without any problems, and it seems to be completely stuck. Oh yeah, it's in there. Wow. Gosh, I'm pushing as hard as I can and I cannot get this piece out. Let me try using an actual Lego brick breaker. Oh, there we go. Just about came out. But that was tough. Actually, give me a second. I'm going to see if I can find a legitimate piece to replace this with, because it's slightly damaged now. Okay, I couldn't find an alternative piece, so I'm just gonna have to ride with this one. That's pretty bad, I will say. That is pretty bad. Just gotta watch extra carefully. Okay, there we go. So it's meant to, I'm meant to have this, but the pin has been slightly damaged, so I don't know if it's going to actually work. Oh my goodness. I guess it's like this. It's not clear at all. Thanks for being patient, folks. And I guess this is one reason why you probably do want to spend the money on an official version. Again, well, I think this is a good example of getting what you pay for. Have a good one, Film Bricks, and apologies for the delay. Hope you have a good one. Well, we've passed the hour. But I did say I was going to go through the bags, so I'm going to do it. Hopefully won't take that long. Of course, this doesn't go here. Okay, finally able to move on. This still moves, which is good. This does seem rather convoluted though. Anyway, something a little simpler, I think. these bits out. There it is. Okay, what's happened here? Again, I missed a step. Okay, we have this frame, and then no problem, never too old. You missed a whole bunch of nothing, but answering the phone is more important, quite frankly. So all that faff to build this so far. I don't know, it just seems overly complex to me. But what do I know? I was just saying that this is one of the downsides of going for one of these less expensive sets. If something goes wrong, you risk breaking parts and things. And as far as I can see, there are no replacements, or at least very few replacements. But still, we have to continue. Oh yeah, I was meaning to ask, never too old, do you have another video that you can put out advertising the brick crawl? Has anybody else submitted their 10-20 second videos? I think it would be, if there is one available, it would be good to post one this week, or maybe save it until after Christmas. Oh, these go upside down. Okay. Okay. I suppose worst case scenario, you can chop and change the ones you already have. So you could add the two new people, mix it with some ones that you've already put out. So you have essentially a different video, but that's just a suggestion. Is that it? I think that's it. No. Just gonna add these plates, and then that's the step. I'm gonna figure out how these go together. Okay, I guess the lesson here is that don't be fooled by the size of the bag. There can be some very complicated build techniques. Oh, no, before I do that, see that step up there? They very sneakily added some tiles there. Almost didn't see that. So yeah, I'd have to guess that somebody has basically created their own version of the instructions, but they did a rather haphazard job of it. Right, so I can tell this is a mechanism for, I'm going to guess it's for accepting a coin, because obviously something slots in there and this will rotate. And we put it onto this thing like so, making sure this faces up. Don't think it matters that much. So we have this, obviously it turns around like this. And oh, there's more. Just when I thought I was done. I'm going to add this here and then a bush. Okay, is that it? It appears I've missed another step. I was meant to add some bricks to the front here. How the heck did that happen? Okay, that's that. Let's go back to this step, and all right, now we put this mechanism here. That's where the front of it gets seated. And it goes in like that. Looks as if there's a gap here. I probably missed another piece. Gosh, this is embarrassing. Hey Tristan, aka Carsten. This live stream was going so well, and then I missed a few things. Must be old age. Yeah, I definitely missed a few steps here. But how are you doing, sir? just going through again, making sure I haven't skipped or missed anything. Oh dear. I missed a complete other thing as well. How on earth is this happening? So there's a whole thing here which I was meant to put in there. I am not going to ask how your girlfriend got that neck injury, but I hope she'll be okay. See, I missed this entire thing here, which goes at the top. Alright, so I think that is finally it. So we can put this thing in place. And that looks a lot better. Alright, just going to adjust these. Alright, so now we have a semblance of a mechanism. So this bit at the front turns. It in turn turns this makeshift gear, which turns this gear as well. Goes back to what I was saying in my video about the Gumball advent calendar, that there's an agitator, which is this piece here, which moves the balls around in the container, so it makes it easier for a single ball to fall down. But right now it's rather difficult to turn it for some reason. Hopefully I haven't messed anything up. Alright, so I think we can move on to bag 6. It doesn't look as if it's as technical, so hopefully this isn't going to take long. Alright, let's focus on these instructions. But yeah, I will say though, neck injuries are no joke. Can you imagine somebody trying to do a speed build on this set? I'd imagine there's been a few attempts. I haven't heard of any, but I'd imagine somebody has probably attempted something like this, and they probably get it done in about an hour, 2 hours, if I were to make a guess. Oh yes. Yes, I did have that conversation with Tristan. Not sure when it would take place though. But I'm very much open to it. Oh, can't forget this piece and the other curved plates. Okay. Excellent. Goes here. I think there's some kind of stopper, perhaps. Sorry about this, folks. I probably should have some music playing in the background or something, but I don't know, just for some reason it just didn't seem right, so please bear with me. Just trying to find these pieces all the time. So we've got those 5. I don't know if it's still in there. I don't see that particular piece unless I'm going completely blind. It's already there. It was something completely different that I was meant to find. I say I'm officially senile. Right, we've got this piece here which looks like a little flipper. It's going to have some mechanical function, I'm pretty sure. And and I have no idea where that's meant to go. In here? I don't know. I guess in here. I don't know. Okay, there is a, yeah, there is a description on this section of how that piece is meant to be positioned. So this blue bit is meant to sit behind the springy black bit. Is this meant to go all the way down? Yeah, take your time, never too old. Take your time. Right, so I have it in like this. Yeah, I'm still live, Cosmic Bricks, because I messed up. There was a particular issue that I had with one part of the assembly, and I had to go back and try to repair it, and it took a lot longer than I'd hoped. So here I am. I did pledge to get to a certain stage, and I'm going to keep that pledge. But don't worry, I won't be live for much longer, I hope. Yep. Okay, building these two bits, and they go where? They go on top of here. just hiding. Well, I have to be honest, Cosmic Bricks, you'll talk about a suit, or a custom-made suit made from the finest space material, fashioned by the finest space astronauts, female of course. And then you mentioned gold tables and diamond encrusted tables. That's pimp talk. So you could, unbeknownst to everybody here, you could very well be a pimp. I don't know. Yeah, I was hoping this live stream would be a lot more exciting, but it is just completely devolved because I got stuck. But never mind, it happens sometimes. Yeah, listen, it makes things interesting. As I mentioned earlier in the live stream, outside of this hobby, I run a meetup group where we go to restaurants, and sometimes it's not the greatest of experiences, either because the food is not particularly good or the service isn't particularly good. But I always find it's the people that make the experience. As long as you have a good set of people, and sometimes even a not so good set of people, you can still have a good time. I find you still have something that you can talk about. I mean, it's usually better when everything goes well. You can talk about what great places you visited, etc. But if something goes badly, that's also a talking point. So it's not the most pleasant thing when you're going through it sometimes, but it's also kind of valuable. I think what makes it not so pleasurable is when we start putting in comparisons to other people. You know, the idea that our live stream isn't, or whatever we're doing isn't as good as somebody else is doing it. And I try not to think about that because everybody's got their own thing. But in any case, hopefully we are past a lot of the frustrating pieces, no pun intended. And we're heading towards the last bag in tonight's sets. Most of the difficult stuff was always going to be in the middle because of the mechanisms and things. But what I can see at the moment is that this is the bottom, or where all the gifts are going to rest, and this thing here is going to agitate everything so that the balls keep moving and something will eventually be dispensed. But I definitely appreciate the sentiments. I still don't know whether to call you Tristan or Carsten. I'll just say Tristan because that's what the name shows. It's 4, 2, It's getting a little bit more manageable now. But now we've got to build this rather interesting thing. I'm not quite sure where this is going yet. Okay, I see what it's doing. So we're building this thing here, and this is basically a makeshift curve that goes inside. I'd imagine that this is a very awkward time of year for business, because obviously the holidays are coming up and things are grinding to a halt. Maybe not for the consumer side, but on the business side. So that's got to add to the stress, I'm pretty sure. Oh dear, legal battle. Damn. Yeah, I can see how that's particularly stressful, because that's basically more money that could be spent on way better things. You know what, Cosmic Bricks had a really good idea, and I missed the boat on this one. Well, I had an unrelated idea that if I really wanted to, I could get set up for next year, which is basically to have something on my website that wishes people a happy birthday. So if they're the kind of person who, for example, gets no play on social media, they'll be able to set something up on my website to send a happy birthday message to them or somebody else perhaps. But a similar thing could be done with a Christmas card or a Christmas greeting. I was just thinking about something along those lines, and hopefully that shouldn't take that long to implement. It depends how complicated I want to make things, I guess, but just an idea. Oh man. Well, again, Owen, you really don't have to do anything like that, but it would always be safer to send a gift card. I mean, just the card would do. But yeah. But yeah, Tristan, you don't have to worry, because I'm always, well, unless I particularly hate somebody's guts. I'm always rooting for people to succeed. But I don't really hate anybody. There are some people who, let's just say if they were on fire and it was up to me to put them out, I'd say, you know what, I'd like to help, but the toilet needs the water more. But no, I don't hate anybody. Hey, Alexandria. Well, I mean, it's looking quite decent at the moment. It's starting to take shape. How we got here is a different story, I will say. And yeah, my verdict at the moment is that there's a reason why it's probably best to pay a little bit more for the official sets. And again, I'd reiterate that these kind of sets, these third-party sets, are really only for people who know what they're doing. Because honestly, there are some rather tricky things to watch out for here. Now, I remember this was included, which is a correction to the instructions, but it looks as if the instructions are correct here, so no problems. Well, you've got a good friend there, Tristan. I think that's the best person to be, somebody who doesn't have beef with anybody. Unfortunately, beef seems to follow me wherever I go. Maybe because well, not that kind of beef, but I do like beef. Yeah, Alexandria has, I know Alexandria's been unwell recently. A couple of people have been unwell. It's not the great time of year to be unwell, but it can't be helped. But yes, wishing everybody who's unwell right now, almost everybody, a speedy recovery. Oh, well, beef sandwiches with cheese, I immediately thought of Philly cheesesteak. So this is the last of the bags we're going to do tonight. So you'll be really relieved to find out. But we will see how much left we have to build. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't been feeling too well myself. I haven't mentioned it because it's not really that important. But yeah, I haven't been feeling too well. It's nothing I don't think some significant rest wouldn't fix, but I've got so much to do, as I've said before. Just can't stop. Hopefully you'll be well enough in time for the big day. I suppose a random question, what will people be eating on the big day? Will it be, well, I know in Tristan's case, because he's vegetarian, it's going to be, for lack of a better term, nut roast or something like that. Will we be doing turkey? Will we be doing something else? I'm actually kind of curious. Okay, oh, got that wrong. There we go. Easily resolved. No need to worry, Alexandria, though. It's not that serious, I hope. No, it's nowhere near as bad as some other people have been. Right, we're building this at the moment, which is obviously going to sit here. That rotates to move the balls around. One of them will drop in that hole. Okay, red cabbage and potato balls. I've made some red cabbage recently. Very good stuff, but very easy to make a whole load of it. Potato balls, potato dumplings, I guess. Well, don't tell anybody, but I'm hoping to cook some turkey myself this year and add it to whatever the folks are cooking, because I know that they don't usually go for turkey. They would most likely make chicken and or lamb, but I think it would be nice to have some turkey in addition. Either way, Tristan, that sounds good. That sounds really good. It's becoming more of a thing over here for either to go to a restaurant on Christmas Day or to order food from a restaurant for Christmas Day to pick up on Christmas Eve. All right, how did you attempt to cook the turkey, Alexandria? Did you do it the traditional way in the oven, or did you try and deep fry the turkey? Which I've never had, by the way. I'd be very interested to try deep fried turkey. I would never dare to attempt to make it though. But yeah, excellent news on that that video, Cosmic Bricks. So I've been building this down here all this time, but I've got this so far. I'll tell you what, Cosmic Bricks is doing a heck of a lot better than me when it comes to videos. My advent calendar shorts have not been doing well for whatever reason this year. But that's how it goes sometimes. I'll just have to do better next year. I don't think it's helped that I've only basically done one advent calendar this year. Usually I do two. I couldn't find a second one to do in time. Alright, this is what we have as the, I guess, the plates that goes here. Yep. Okay. So it sits like that. Let me see if I can adjust this light quickly. still got to get this all properly set up. That's not made any difference. Oh well. Oops. Oh yeah, biscuits. I guess the equivalent over here is scones or scones, however you pronounce it. If you've ever been to Popeyes, they have their infamous dry biscuits. Which I actually quite like. Okay. Cosmic Brick says scones. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. I'd probably say scones or no, scones is. I don't know. I do not know. Never actually thought of it. Well, it's probably because I haven't. I'm not really accustomed to eating those. I will say the gravy, I've not actually made proper gravy. Although gravy in the States I know is different to gravy over here. So from what I understand, gravy is thicker and floury, whereas gravy over here is more it's darker and more liquid, I'd say, although you can make it thicker, but still not as thick as American gravy. Then again, I could be talking completely out my rear ends. Okay, everybody knows it's pronounced glass. I've not heard of egg curry. I suppose that's basically curry with egg in it. But curry with gravy, that's a completely new concept to me. Oops. Oh dear. Well, I would hazard a guess that somebody well versed in cooking vegetarian food has to be a pretty good cook. So yeah, if you have somebody who can cook good food for you, you've pretty much hit the jackpot. There's another part of that ramp. I've only got 3 of these. Can I see a 4th? There it is, hiding there again. Then we need 2 of these plates joined together. Just found out I'm expecting another package tomorrow. That's going to be my most recent AliExpress order, non-Lego. And that's going to be delivered to a locker, so I don't have to worry about that. Completely unrelated information. But yeah, I'm a little bit nervous now because it's getting closer to Christmas, and I want to make sure that I get everything that I have ordered. There's just one of those. Okay. I'm still waiting for my bricks and pieces order from Lego. There has been no movement, and it's approaching an entire month now since I ordered them, when I was told they'd be processed in 9 business days. Now, I hate to say it, but I honestly think that it's sabotage at this point. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, so we got this. Is it greedy to eat 3 bags of M&Ms? Well, yes. I certainly wouldn't. I would eat, well, I can't really speak because I've had to stop myself from getting those large tubes of Smarties that they often sell during Christmas. I've gone through, well, since they started selling them a couple of months ago, I've gone through maybe 5 or 6 of them, and it's pretty bad. I've got a sugar craving like nobody's business. But even then, I would only go through 1. I think maybe 1.5 in one day is the most I've ever had. I certainly wouldn't do 3. But if that's what you want to do, then who am I to judge? Oh my goodness. Okay, they're probably not going to be as big as the ones in the States. I don't know. I actually don't get the bags anymore. I just get well, I do Smarties and I do tubes of Smarties. What was I going to say? When I was younger, and when I used to eat M&Ms, and certainly when I had Smarties, I would, well, I doubt anybody else did this, but I would pretend I was playing snooker with the Smarties, and I would arrange the Smarties like a snooker table. And then I suppose I would eat them as if I was playing snooker. Don't worry, folks, we are almost there. Almost at the end of bag 7, I think. well, I'm assuming that the bags of sweets over here are smaller than in the States. Although if you go to the airports, you may see, well, at the airport you definitely get the bigger bags of sweets. But in general, in the supermarkets over here, they're on the small side. I've never had candy corn. I'm assuming you mean the sweets associated with Halloween, not sweet flavored popcorn. I've heard that some people love them, some people hate them, but they're associated with Halloween. Well, I didn't see them actually. I actually didn't see candy corn anywhere. At least I don't think I did, but they'd probably still be in the American sweets aisle. I may visit one of the supermarkets tomorrow, so I'll have a look. Would I be brave enough to try one though? I don't know. Alright, so now we're going to put this on, and this will slot in like so. Okay. Okay. Maybe one of those so-called American sweet shops then may have them. Did I miss something here? No, no. Okay, this is meant. One of these is meant to go underneath. Again, not very clearly indicated in the instructions. Well, I'll definitely make sure I find out how much they are before I consider getting some. Apparently these American sweet shops are infamous for not telling people what the price is. What's going on here? I don't know. I can't put this in for some reason. We at least used to have some of those, well, you call them candy stores, we call them sweet shops over here. I don't know if, well, I'm pretty sure there are still some that exist. But I generally think that most of the interest now is going to be in foreign sweets, especially those from the States and places like Japan, China, maybe Korea. This year there was a whole thing about Dubai chocolate for some reason. I personally don't get it, but apparently people are going nuts over it. No pun intended. Yeah, I have way too much sugar. It's really bad actually. Ah, I think I see what the problem is now. Okay, if I go back to these instructions. Okay, yes. Yeah, I see this these square plates are interfering with what's underneath. So right. Well, I heard about the Dubai chocolate thing when I was in Amsterdam, and I had no idea what it was. I guess I still don't know. And I don't think most people know. It just sounds stupid to me. Okay, so I've taken these bits out because they were interfering with the plates. I'm going to try and put this on. There we go. But yeah, I've never had Dubai chocolates. I generally don't like nuts. Well, I don't like peanuts. I will murder a whole nut chocolate bar though. But there was also, I think there was a health hazard associated with Dubai chocolate. Just as well I didn't have any. But yeah, definitely, since things started to go downhill this year, I've been going crazy with the sugar. I've had cakes, I've had biscuits. It is not good. So I'm definitely gonna have to do something about that. They expect me to put this pattern in this step right here, and there's no real explanation as to how that pattern goes together. That's pretty bad. That explains it, Tristan. Which is why one of the most important things I can do is get back to the gym and start developing cravings for lots of vegetables, green vegetables, and protein shakes and all that good stuff. Berries, lots of meats, not so much bread. I keep telling myself, well, I have to get back in better financial shape first before I can go to the gym. But once I start working out again, it's I've actually found it addictive. It's actually really addictive. I mean, yes, the first few times I go, I feel sick, I feel achy and tired after a good workout, but after I get into it, I actually start craving those feelings of nausea, those aches and pains in the morning. Because that means I've had a good workout. It's the strangest thing. But yes, welcome back, Alexandria. We were just talking about you. Alright, so here we got the little turny thing for this thing, which we just slip onto here, and this is after we put the pattern on here. Alright, sense of accomplishments. And we've got just one more step. Got one of these elusive reverse round tiles, which is quite nice, and this actually represents a coin, I think. Where's the other half of this coin? It's not here. It may be in with the bag of random stuff. Let me have a quick look. Oh no, it was all good stuff he was saying. Yes, the other half of the coin is in this bag here, along with some loose minifigure parts. Okay, girlfriend found a... what do you think of finding those stray pieces on the streets? I actually think that's quite interesting. There was a point where I used to collect some of those parts to add to my collection, but now, since I am more focused on downsizing, I don't do that much of that anymore. I did come across a Lego piece the other day and I just walked past it. But yes, I'll be meaning to get hold of some of these. I may have a look on AliExpress to see if they have them. Very, very expensive on Lego's bricks and pieces, and you may have to end up waiting a month to get them. Much faster on AliExpress. Anyway, here's one of the coins. I actually made something like this, I think it was earlier in the year. I had some medium stone grey ones, if you remember the Plinko board that I made. And I guess it works like this. We drop the coin in here. We turn this thing. If we can turn this thing. Goes anti-clockwise, I guess. And then we get the coin back. How many of those do I want? Well, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that at all. But if you must, put in as many as you can. This has got a nice clicky action to it, actually. That's I actually like how this vibrates as well. It's got a nice mechanical feel to it. But of note is that you don't have to put the coin in to rotate the thing around. So it's more novelty than anything. And then you'll notice the coin falls out through this hole here. I still have that Plinko board that I made, as well as all the pieces. I just have to make it a lot more robust. And then you'll probably find that that's one thing I can bring to shows to display. Give the kids something to play with, but hopefully they don't steal any of the parts. Do I need the one with the curve or the plates? Just the plates. Yes. I can use just these, although it's nice to have the flat side on this side as well. And yeah, to Owen's point, or sorry, Cosmic Bricks' point earlier, I'm more interested in the gym because I know that I will do some exercise in the gym. I don't feel particularly comfortable exercising outside, but it's mainly to get in shape. I can always use some bigger arms, I think, but I think it's too late in my years to be concerned about becoming a bodybuilder or anything like that. So yeah, interestingly, they decided this should be turned anti-clockwise. I actually don't know if it's meant to be clockwise or anti-clockwise. I guess it doesn't matter though. But yes, that is the end of bag 7, and this is going to be the end of today's progress. It's taken way too long to get to this stage. I was hoping it was going to take an hour. It's actually taken a couple. And I'm not going to bore you guys anymore. I'm going to call time here. But just to say thank you very much for humoring me. And thank you for playing along once again. It is good to see you all. It's good to hang out with you guys. I will probably schedule the next one for tomorrow. And hopefully we'll actually finish this one so we can focus on other things. But until next time, this has been SilentMode, maker, artist and LEGO enthusiast, for real this time, encouraging you all to do your thing.